Michigan State made every single play that had to be made in winning time, and that is the reason they're moving on.
You are Locked On Ole Miss, your daily podcast on the Ole Miss Rebels, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
It was a great game. It was a great finish, and Ole Miss showed that it belonged on this stage. But ultimately, Michigan State was able to make every single play in the last 4 minutes to win that game. When Ole Miss needed a stop, when Ole Miss needed a contested layup to not go in, Michigan State made shots. Michigan State made free throws. And because of that, a Tom Izzo team is going on to face the winner of Auburn and Michigan in what was really a classic NCAA tournament game. Hello, I'm Stephen Willis from the Locked On Ole Miss podcast. Thanks for tuning in. Listen, this was a great run by the Ole Miss basketball team. And make no mistake, as long as Chris Beard is in Oxford, this is not the last time that Ole Miss is going to the Sweet 16. They looked fantastic. They played really well. The difference in this game, there's a couple of things that were going against Ole Miss in this game. Sean Padula getting into foul trouble in the first half with 8 minutes left to go, to where instead of being able to extend that 8 to 9 point lead to 15 or 16, Michigan State was able to make a run, and that was absolutely massive, only being down by 2 points at halftime. Then at the end of the game, whenever it was that tight nail-biter game, it was 61-61 all the way until the end, both teams had to make plays. And I thought that in that situation, it would be Ole Miss that would make the shot. This game, it was Michigan State. They made contested layups. They made all their foul shots. Anything that could be done to give Ole Miss hope to get back in the game, Michigan State actually closed the door. So props to them for that. It was a Tom Izzo team. It was a very tough, hard-fought game, and it was absolutely amazing to watch. So I'm very fired up about that. Going to be rooting for Michigan State for the rest of the tournament. They were fantastic in this game. So one issue that I have, obviously the foul trouble with Sean Padula in the first half. That was one of the reasons that Ole Miss lost this game, potentially. They didn't play bad or anything like that. It's just the bad luck of playing in a college basketball game. It happens. The other thing is Ole Miss didn't really have the best night from Malik Dia or Dre Davis, and Ole Miss needed both of them on their offensive game. We talked about how that was the advantage that Ole Miss could exploit in this game, and it actually forced Michigan State to go small early on instead of having the trees in the game. But Malik Dia wasn't quite there other than scoring a couple of baskets, and Dre Davis, God bless him, got into foul trouble early, and he did the thing that we said he could not do. And whenever that happened, all of a sudden, too much was being put on Matt Morrell. Too much was being put on Sean Padula, Juju Murray, those guys. And Michigan State was kind of able to just keep Ole Miss at arm length at the end and to stay close in the game whenever they were down. Michigan State didn't lead in the basketball game until 9 minutes or so to go in the second half. Ole Miss was in the control to the point where in the first half they should have been up by 10 to 15 points. Even Charles Barkley said that. And I do think the Sean Padula getting foul trouble in the first half was probably the reason that allowed Michigan State to stay close enough to where that last 4 minutes could be what those last 4 minutes were. Again, props to the Spartans. They played a really good game. They played really hard. That was a hard-fought game. And honestly, one of the better NCAA tournament games that have been played this whole tournament season. So I'm pretty fired up about what Ole Miss did in the tournament, how Ole Miss actually performed tonight. Ole Miss didn't win the game, but Ole Miss just lost a basketball game today. You can't say that Ole Miss choked. You can't say that anybody got coached, anybody else. Ole Miss just lost a basketball game tonight to a team that literally had to make every single play for 4 minutes, and they did. Hard contested layups. Multiple of those went in. at the end of the game. They made all of their foul shots, which is something they have not done at a high rate lately. 86% from the game. Really good ball game. Again, congrats to Michigan State. I mean, it was a hard-fought game. It was the rock fight that we all anticipated. Ole Miss actually out-rebounded Michigan State, and they shot from three-point range about 37%, which was okay. And Ole Miss still lost the game because it was just an effort game by the Michigan State guards, driving to the goal, making contested layups, and consistently getting points every single trip down the court. It was just a great game, and honestly, this isn't the last time that Ole Miss is going to be there. I'm going to be fired up, and now Chris Beard's going to hit the transfer portal really, really hard. Anyway, when we come back, we are going to talk about the box score and give that a look as well. We'll see exactly what happens, so stick around. Remember, if you comment, be sure and put where you're commenting from so I can call you out. Thank you very much for that. You know, we're all about the stats because numbers do not lie. And when it comes to the all-new Nissan Armada Pro 4X, the numbers are at an MVP level with the ability to tow up to 8,500 pounds. It can quite literally carry the whole team, every Iowa State, North Carolina, and now Ole Miss tier to the game, plus gear wherever you need to go. It's powered by a twin-turbo V6 engine, delivering the strength and performance to handle highways, backward roads, and everything in between. And with room for up to 8 people, the Armada Pro 4X is built for big crews, big adventures, and even bigger memories. Whether you're exploring off-road trails or rolling up to the arena, the Armada Pro 4X brings power, versatility, and style wherever you go. Take your adventures to new heights with the all-new Nissan Armada Pro 4X. Learn more at nissanusa.com. March is here, and FanDuel is giving you a chance to get in on the action like never before. Right now, new customers can get $200 in bonus bets when your first $5 bet wins. That's $200 to bet on everything from buzzer beaters to Cinderella stories and even who's going to cut down the nets. Tonight, I was looking at underdogs. I thought Ole Miss, they were 3.5-point dogs. Ole Miss actually covered that line. They lost by 3 points in the game in a weird backdoor cover. So if you're a gambler, I do feel sorry. In Kentucky, they were 4.5-point dogs, and Tennessee just absolutely took them apart. So Vegas has reasons for everything they do, and FanDuel makes it easy to back them with spreads, totals, and game props. With tournament games happening almost every single day, there's always something to bet on. The FanDuel app is simple to use, and when I win, I get paid instantly. No waiting around. So visit FanDuel.com and get in on the college sports and college hoops action all tournament long. All right, so let's do a little box score cleaning before we get to your comments, because I do want you to have your say as well. And I do want a lot of time, as much time as we can have for that, because honestly, this was a magnificent run by the Ole Miss basketball team. It was exciting. It got Ole Miss invested in it. Heck, I did all of basketball in my videos this week and was averaging about 3,000 views on YouTube alone. It was a big deal. Basketball for the first time really clicked in, and I think Chris Beard might be close to kind of building something really good at Ole Miss. Now, if you look at the box score, Ole Miss was a 73-70 loser to Michigan State. Ole Miss shot 39% for the game. They did not shoot well from two-point range. Malik Dia did not have the best game. Dre Davis did not have the best game. Ole Miss did actually shoot over 30% against a very good three-point defense in Michigan State. Sean Padula really showed out, played really well. Ole Miss had 8 turnovers. Michigan State had 10. Ole Miss actually won the rebounding battle against an elite rebounding team, 33-29. Ole Miss had 20 fouls to 12 for Michigan State. Michigan State shot 50% from the game, including a lot of really contested layups. They did a really good job, and their free throw percentage was really good as well. I mean, props to them. Ole Miss needed them to make a mistake that would allow Ole Miss to get back into the game. a sliver, an opening. Michigan State just would not let that happen. Props to them for that. Ole Miss was led by Sean Padula, had 24 points in the game on 4 for 9 for three-point shot, 9 for 17 on 2 points. He had 3 rebounds, 4 assists, 2 steals, 2 turnovers, did have 3 personal fouls. Malik Dia had 4 fouls in the game, 11 points. He was 1 for 4 on 3, 4 for 11 on 2. He's a guy that normally plays bully ball pretty well, and when he's at his best when he does that. Didn't really happen tonight. Dre Davis, he's going to want tonight back, him and Jalen Murray. Dre Davis had 4 points on the game, ended up with 6 rebounds, 1 steal, and Jalen Murray ended up with 5 points, 1 rebound, 3 assists in the game, 2 personal fouls. Jamin Brakefield also only had 9 points. In the front court, the Wings they did not have the best night, and it was basically Sean Padula or a bust for the Rebels in this game. And a lot of that has to do with dealing with a really good defense by Michigan State. They're really good at what they do. Michigan State was paced by Jace Richardson, who had 20 points, 4 of 6 from three-point shots. He was instrumental in that end of the first half rally going on. Coin Carr had 15 points in the game. Jaden Atkins had 13. Trey Holloman had 10. Again, Michigan State, 19 of 22 from the free throw line, 86% for the game. They were only 6 of 17 from 3, and there were windows in that game for Ole Miss to make a run and windows for Ole Miss to do what needed to be done. And they were not able to get enough separation to where they could take advantage of what was going on. Again, props to Michigan State. This isn't a situation where Ole Miss lost the game. Ole Miss got beat. Michigan State won the game. The last 4 minutes in winning time, they made every single play that had to be made. Lots of contested layups, lots of contested shots that had to be made. They made their free throws. A team that has struggled shooting free throws as of late, their percentages have dropped as a team by like 10 percentage points. They made their foul shots tonight. They made tough contested 2-point shots and was able to score every single time they went down the court. And that's the reason they won the game. Ole Miss had a chance. They were down by 2 with about 1 minute and 10 seconds left. And Dre Davis missed about a 4-footer in the game. And Michigan State got it, and it became a free throw shooting competition at that point. And whenever that happened, well, we all know what happened. But good game, excellent game. I mean, I'm perfectly okay. This is not the last opportunity that Ole Miss is going to be in the Sweet 16 with Chris Beard. And Ole Miss is eventually going to make the Elite Eight. And Ole Miss is eventually going to make the Final Four because Chris Beard is that good at what he does. And as long as he's there, that hope springs eternal. Now, get back to Oxford and hit the transfer portal and replace all of those seniors on the roster and get ready for another run in 2026. Should be pretty interesting indeed. You know, daylight savings time snuck up on us again. And if you're feeling that lost hour of sleep, 5-Hour Energy has your back. The extra sunshine means more time for fun, but sometimes you need a little boost to power through. Whether you're staying up late, watching the NCAA tournament, squeezing in a round of golf after work, or just trying to keep up with your busy day, 5-Hour Energy gives you that quick, refreshing pick-me-up whenever you need it. I've been staying up late watching all the tournament action, and the 5-Hour Energy helps me stay refreshed the next day. With longer days, I love getting outside for a walk. Tropical Burst is my go-to for that quick burst. Whether I'm at a game or traveling, 5-Hour Energy is easy to grab and keeps me feeling refreshed. Head to 5hourenergy.com to find over 15 flavors to choose from, including watermelon, blue raspberry, and peach mango. You can even build your own 12-pack, 24-pack delivered right to your door. If you need one now, grab a 5-Hour Energy shot at your local grocery or convenience store. They are everywhere. So stock up today and stay energized. All right, so let's go to your comments. Remember, if you're commenting on there, please put where you're commenting from. I do want to give you a shout out. Again, congratulations, Michigan State. You're not going to hear me blame officiating. You're not going to hear me blame anybody for this game. Michigan State just won it. They did. At the very end, when they had to make every single play, they did make every single play. Ole Miss played really well. They had some issues that they couldn't recover from, but they played pretty well as a whole for the game and really played defense and was able to turn over the Spartans pretty consistently in this game. So let's go to the comment section real quick and see what's going on right now. Karamalam says, are you going to do the basketball overreaction next season, Stephen? Yes, and the basketball overreaction is going to start up as soon as the football season ends and maybe during the football season because the instant overreaction over the last week, it's kind of been eye-opening for what we can do for basketball with the instant overreactions and things like that. So, yes, we are going to do it again next year. Should be interesting. I've heard rumors about players that Ole Miss might be interested in. We'll see exactly how that goes. Tyler Leslie from Mooreville, Mississippi. So disappointed. We had it won, and Murrell wasn't out of bounds. He didn't step out of bounds. Sucks because we was, in my opinion, the better team. They're very good. We're definitely the better outside shooting team, and I think we might be the better defensive team. The difference is in this game, Michigan State had a Batman. Ole Miss had the scoring drought in the middle of the second half that allowed Michigan State to come back. And that was a problem for Ole Miss over the course of the season. Michigan State, they had guys that can get to the rim. They had guys that could finish. And that was the reason they were able to chip away at the Ole Miss lead and win the game at the end. Tyler Leslie says, thank you, Stephen. You were really great. We appreciate everything you do for Ole Miss and us. Thank you very much. I love this very much. And I will continue to do this until I can't. Just period. David Buford, Ole Miss was most stat categories, but got blown out on officiating. Tough loss, feel like it wasn't called evenly. It's not that it wasn't called evenly. Ole Miss settled for jump shots and didn't attack the basket, and Michigan State intentionally tried to draw fouls. They are really good at doing that. In fact, them doing that with Sean Padula, he had a couple of bad fouls in the course of the game. That 8 minutes that he had to sit out in the first half is probably the reason that Michigan State was able to come back and get all the way back and win the game in the end. Mark Walsh from St. Louis, Missouri. Thanks, Stephen, for great coverage all year. Really appreciate it. We couldn't score tonight. Unfortunately, it happens. Padula was it all night. Bad showing by Davis and Dia. James Mendoza from Tupelo, Mississippi. Wish we had the same team next year, but great season. Fantastic season. And Ole Miss fans, they kind of woke up this season in regards to basketball. I mean, we have a game going on, I guess, right now with Coach Yo going after UCLA at the moment. We'll see exactly how that looks for Ole Miss as well. I'm going to put that game on my TV at the moment so I can kind of update everybody that's paying attention to that as well. UCLA is up by 6 in the first quarter. Cooper Turner, Olive Branch, Mississippi. First time catching one of these lives. Am I wrong to think we were shooting way too many threes? Great season anyway, and hopefully baseball can do some damage this year. I don't know if they were shooting threes. Like I said, Dre Davis and Malik Dia did not have the best night tonight. And because of that, Sean Padula, who is really good at shooting three-point shots, was kind of what you had. So I don't know if we were shooting too many threes or if we were doing what was necessary, if that makes sense at all. Carol Millum says, from New Albany, Mississippi, the weather could be crap on Sunday. That's what I've heard, honestly. Adam Alvis says from Birmingham, tough way to lose, but I'm so proud of the effort. Izzo knew exactly how lucky they were to pull it off. Yeah, they literally made every play in the last 4 minutes of that game. I don't think you realize whenever they go through scoring droughts like they have during the game, there's large periods of time where they do not make those shots. And they did. They made every single play at the end of the game. Sixth string from Nashville. That was the toughest and most physical defensive team that we played in years. Tom Izzo on Ole Miss. Yes. They played absolutely fantastic. And that's the reason that I think that as long as Chris Beard's at Ole Miss, this isn't their last Sweet 16 appearance. In fact, I would bet that they're going to make it in the second weekend again next year as well. Got to go recruit Richardson talent players. Yeah. The transfer portal. Listen, what I heard is the transfer portal, there's a different class of player than what they got in Oxford. So as far as the talent, should be more talented of a team in the transfer portal. Now, you're not going to have Matthew Morrell. You're not going to have Jamin Brakefield, and that's going to suck. But I think you're going to have more talent accumulated by Chris Beard overall. Taylor Hardy says, good game. You played hard, out-rebounded MSU, great season. Again, rooting for the Spartans the rest of the way of the tournament. That game was awesome. That game was fantastic. And I hope at least everybody can see where my confidence going into this game was coming from. I hope that everybody can see that. And honestly, you were a ticky-tack foul in the first half away from Sean Padula, preventing that run at the end of the first half, and it could have been a completely different ball game. Attila Hardy is from Detroit. He says, go green. Istvan Verandi says, just came in to congratulate you, Ole Miss. Heck of a season. You've got a tough team, tough coach, respect from you, MSU. Yeah, I think respect was earned on both sides in this game. It sucks for Ole Miss that they were not able to win the game, but that was a great tournament game. And honestly, I think that Ole Miss is going to be better in the tournament in the future, in the near future, for that game. That was big. Jared Parker says, man, I hate we lost, but what an unbelievable season. I'm okay with giving Chris Beard a blank check at this point. Jared Parker, difference is we couldn't finish around the rim. Yeah, that was the problem. Ole Miss needed Dre Davis and Ole Miss needed Malik D to have their biggest game of the season in this game. That was the chance to have a little bit of a mismatch. It's the point to where Hall of Fame coach Tom Izzo changed his starting lineup for this game because he knew about the athleticism that was about to be thrown at them. So we'll see. Avery Charles Dewey, good game, Ole Miss. Had to stress the F out. Yes. Really great basketball game. Chase Partridge says Ole Miss played great. If the game was even called close to fair, Ole Miss wins by 10 points. If Sean Padula doesn't have the foul get picked up an 8-minute mark in the first half, Ole Miss likely wins this game. It's just bad luck. It's just basketball happening. Fouls get called. Javon Camel from New Orleans. We need rim protectors. Time to hit the transfer portal. Avery Charles says, oh, stop. The game did not have ref shenanigans. Yeah, nobody did anything ref-wise. Kara Millam says, I think Ole Miss will pack the Pavilion next season. Yes, absolutely. And Javon Campbell says, let's go, Lady Rebels, beat UCLA. They're down by 6 at the moment. Sorry about that. Gail Hanna, Olive Branch here. Good game, Rebs. Ben Bynum says, high-level coaching from both teams. They looked like they've been there before. Hope Dia returns and becomes a beast. He can be. Whenever he turns it on, he is a difference maker. Just sucks that it had to end tonight, as Tyler Leslie said. Sucks that it had to end tonight. Chase Partridge, let's see. Susan Waldman, I'm an MSU fan, and I want to say I'm really glad you were so positive. They played an amazing game. Great run to build on next year. It's one of the advantages of this being the 12th game that Ole Miss has ever played in the NCAA tournament or something like that. Ole Miss going into this game against Michigan State has equaled their farthest run in the NCAA tournament. They were playing by the definition of house money. There were no expectations. It was a free shot. And we understand a second weekend, mission accomplished by Ole Miss. Now go work to make that Elite Eight in the near future. That's what we want. Let's see. We're not going to play the officiating game tonight. We're just not. We led till it started to feel real. They made a few key mistakes, let it get in their heads. Before that, they played like a champion team that we could have been hotty-toddy. Yes, they had the scoring drought that has been their problem for the course of the whole season. That's just been their problem as this whole season has gone on. And Michigan State took advantage of that. They realized that, hey, the best way that we can do that is by our ability to finish towards the rim and our ability to shoot free throws. And they forced people to foul them all season. It was their three-point shooting that actually kept them in the game. So give them props for that, because I did not see that coming. Mark Wall says, I think Jalen Murray has been a big disappointment all year, really bad year. I don't know about that, but Matthew Mitchell, MSU made so many contested layups because we were scared to foul due to being in foul trouble and wouldn't play tough D on the defense like early in the game and let them get in the lane. Yeah, but that's kind of what they do all year. But the fact is they finish those tough contested layups. Like I said, if they miss if they miss one of those layups, Ole Miss has a chance to win the game at the end. You had 4 minutes of them having to play basically perfect basketball offensively. A team that has struggled in the half court this season. They were able to do it. They pulled it off. Midwest Picker says, I can't help but think this is only the start of Beard and Ole Miss tournament runs. Yeah, you're absolutely correct there, Midwest. Absolutely correct there. How does that term blast taste? Well, it tasted by about tasted like 3,000 views. So if you watched it, which you did, and you commented on it multiple times, then that video was titled exactly how it needed to be titled. Seriously. If you were coming in here to say, I told you so, no, that's on you, buddy. David Buford, great season, tough end. Let's see. Whole bunch of people arguing about the officiating. I think somebody just wants to troll for some reason. From just like I'm a Tar Heel that's been rooting for you. Great season, Ole Miss. And we'll see how it goes. I think MSU has a chance to give Auburn a lot of problems in the next round. They do. If they can keep it short, it's going to come down to whether or not that Auburn can hit 3-point shots. Because if Auburn's shooting threes, there's nobody that can do anything with them. But if it turns into a rock fight, if the game looks similar as it does tonight, that you just saw a team make every play that needed to be made in 4 minutes. Okay. Before I get out of here, I do want to thank everybody for tuning into my videos the last week. I am going on basically leave for my surgery April 16th. For the next 2 weeks, I will be one show per day because I have to do some evergreens out there as well. So we have to do all that. So one show per day. So thank you very much for tuning in. If you want to help the show, please, many people have reached out on social media about how to handle it. Watch every single video. We're going to have stuff from Brian Smith. We're going to have stuff from the Locked On SEC people. You're going to have my evergreens. Put everyone on there. Give us a view, please. And if you're looking for a little bit something else you can do, look in the description or our subtext and sign up for that. Now, it's not going to be active over the next couple of months, but that's $5 per month that'll go in. That's kind of like, view it like a tip for what's going on. My surgery's on the 16th. I'm hoping to be back at the beginning of May, early on in May. It may be a little bit longer. There's a chance that I am going to have facial paralysis, which could last for upwards of 3 months. So I'm not planning on going anywhere, okay? As soon as I can come back, I'm going to be back. And if you follow me on social media at the Stephen Willis, you will see me posting all through this, no matter what's going on. So as long as I'm able, I will. But just know that the show is not going necessarily anyway but anybody that wants to help what's going on, join the subtext, view it like a tip. That's $5 a month. Every little bit helps. Please tell a friend, sign them up as well, and watch every single video on YouTube. And if you do that, I'll be fine. I'm going to try to come back as quickly as I can. I had my first pre-operation appointment this morning. Went through there. I've got the next one on Monday. So between the pre-ops and the evergreens, it's going to be one show per day. So we'll see. On Monday, we're going to get back into football. We're going to talk about that. We had the Locked On Raiders and Las Vegas radio station wanting to interview me about Ole Miss's pro day today, and I told him I couldn't because of the basketball game. So next week, that might be a thing as well. But thank you very much for everything you've done during this basketball season and football season. This has truly been an elite year for Ole Miss and for myself. And we are going to keep doing this as long as I can. The only way that Locked On Ole Miss is not going to be me is if I'm in the ground. So we'll see exactly how it goes, and we'll see exactly what needs to happen for Ole Miss. So it should be fun. Anyway, thank you so much for making the Locked On Ole Miss podcast your first listen every day. We're free and available wherever you get your podcast, including YouTube. We are part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. Thank you, everybody. Thank you to all the Michigan State fans that watched the videos this week. Obviously, I needed the view count to go up. That's the reason I titled the videos the way I did, because of what's coming on in the next couple of weeks. Thank you very much for tuning in, and I hope that, honestly, you go pretty far in the tournament. I'm going to be rooting for you. It was a pretty great deal. So thank you very much. We will talk to you later. Hotty toddy, everyone.